All right, Manchester United coming out on the right side of a 7-goal thriller. Wolves 3, Man United 4, and they will have to win again this weekend when they take on West Ham United. Yeah, let me start off with you. It's on one hand, United can say they came out of adversity, they won 4-3, blah, blah, blah. But on the flip side, if you were West Ham looking at this game, you'd be pretty hopeful that United can give you a few things to enjoy on Sunday.
You can be hopeful if you're West Ham. However, you haven't been in the best form in recent weeks. With how West Ham played against Man United the last time around at the London Stadium, you'd expect that they'll be up for it. But here's a case where a couple of bad results and poor performances, and now we don't see
And they
them.
drew that same time.
I think
with
Bournemouth.
They've drawn their last 3 games.
Exactly,
also.
and away is even worse. Their record away hasn't been great. So I'm concerned for West Ham. Man United are full of confidence to an extent because they are not playing particularly well. Mm-hmm. They've got players back from injury. That's giving them a bit more confidence going forward, and they're creating opportunities, something we weren't seeing earlier in the season. Rashford's passing, Garnacho is passing, Anthony is also trying his best to pass. So United definitely have some sort of threats going forward, and well, we've seen them score 4 goals in the past 2 games that they played FA Cup and in the Premier League. So it's quite exciting for Man United to host West Ham. My only concern is we don't know which West Ham will turn up. If it's the West Ham that play against Bournemouth, I'll be concerned for them. But if it's the one that played against Man United a couple of weeks ago, I'm certain that it will be something special.
But Emmanuel, how is it that at a point West Ham looked really good, and then they've kind of like sleepwalked into this run where they haven't won a game in a while, and they gave Bournemouth probably one of the easiest goals in it.
Yeah,
Calvin Phillips.
Calvin Phillips, he hasn't played any proper football for the past 2 years or so. And it could clearly show he looked out of it. But for West Ham, I think the injury to Paqueta is a major key, and you can actually look at how their results or their performance have spiraled down since that injury, because he's the fulcrum of anything they do attacking wise. And he had this telepathy between him and Kudus, and that's what was firing Kudus up front. Now you look at the Bournemouth game, you have Kudus having to drop in deep to try to manufacture something, because the other players they have in midfield are not really players who are either going to unlock defenses with those passes for him to run in. You have Alvarez in there. He's more like he's a ball winner, covering up spaces. Ward-Prowse, yes, he's good at set pieces, but progressive passes to break the lines, that's not really his forte. You have Calvin Phillips, and as I said earlier, he's not played much football.
Totally
so that midfield is actually not feeding the front line. You have Jared Bowen having to do a lot more running around. So it's a lot of things. But as Yao said, United have scored 8 goals in their last 2 games, but they've equally conceded 6. So it means that you get chances, and you should be able to put them in. We know West Ham, they are good at set plays. United defensively, not so convincing.
The last time they played at home against Spurs, they had problems dealing with set pieces.
Exactly, and that's one of the strengths of West Ham. You have a player like Ward-Prowse swinging in crosses. You have Zuma, Souček, and those players attacking. So that's one outlet with which they should be able to threaten this United defense. They also have a goalkeeper who is not that convincing. So for players like Jared Bowen and Mohamed Kudus, should they get an opening, they should try it from range. It could serve them some joy in that regard. But then the other side of it is they'll need to stop conceding. Ariola in the past 3 or 4 games hasn't convinced me much, and that is a problem. You know, for David Moyes, normally his teams are very, very good defensively, and then they exploit you either on the counter or set play. So, yeah, United will offer them chances, but if they're able to close their shop themselves and take advantage of the chances United should offer them, they could come with a win, like Bournemouth did.
Okay.
But all United's up and down. The last 5 games, they've not lost though, so it's not as bad as it looks.
Well,
I mean, the performance is not convincing, but
they are unbeaten in 5?
Yeah, but I mean, the results are helping them. So West Ham, not too convincing, but United could offer them something, and if they do, they should be able to grab it with both hands.
I see. On the other side, Man United can look at the episode at Wolves and say they came out of that, and now they can build. So what do they have to do over the weekend to get another win?
Well, the basis has been set. If you've got Varane and Lisandro Martinez in there, there's some comfort in terms of progressing the ball out from defense. With Martinez, you can get the ball into the half spaces, into the middle. He can put it out wide. He can go over the top. Passing range, he's not got a problem. But we know with someone like Bowen, there'll be some sort of pressing, so he needs to decide quickly. But Man United would want to look at trying to use Garnacho. I'll say Garnacho because, or whoever is playing on the left side, because they'll be up against Kufal. Yeah, he's an orthodox right back. He can defend, but they've got pace to burn. That's where United have some advantage. In a counter-attack or in a sprint in the wide areas, they could take either Emerson or Kufal, and that's where United could be potent, because we've seen in recent weeks what Højlund has done. He's always looking to run into space, onto the loose balls. You look at the goal he scored against Wolves. Out of nothing, he got a goal. That's why United need to put the ball in dangerous areas. He'll put his body across. He'll try something, and that's how they could get a goal. But in the middle, I know Alvarez will be very, very combative. Ward-Prowse as well. He loves playing against United. Yeah. They would make it very difficult for United to play or pass the ball around in the middle. Bruno has been missing for most of United's recent games, but he does get a goal out of nothing. So United will want to try and use him as a decoy to get balls out wide, and maybe that will work something for them.
All right, we'll see
Sunday.
if Eric Ten Hag can get yet another win in the Premier League. He faces David Moyes at Old Trafford as Manchester United host West Ham United in the Premier League. Let's move on to